Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Become the Strongest Being in Multiverse Season 2 Part 1. Before we start, please go support John 354 for writing that awesome fanfic. Now let's begin. This is the translated version I made. There will be some wrong he or she calling here because it's translated, so let me clear this. Issei is a male in this story. Family reunion chap. 1. Hero. Don't make that serious face, little brother. It hasn't been that long. Issei. It should surprise me, but it seemed strange to me that Ria's Gremory joined the enemy and joined for you. Ria's? Only Rizavam Sama knew how to bring him back. Issei. I see. Plus you two are here too. Two young people emerging from the crowd. Mickey? You should change that face. Now the whole family is together again. Asami? Because they left. Eru? And what do you do with the enemy? You better come here. Asami? You guys went down a bad path. Hero? And you always listened to me and now you're a rebel. Plus you're with a useless guy in the family. Issei for his part only listened to what they were talking about. Hero. But well, I'll punish you later too. Seeing Issei's girls and getting upset. Hero. How dare you touch my women. Lefei. You're not crazy. We are with Issei, not with a stupid man. Hero. I don't like that attitude you have, but I'll change it later. Lucina. Well, you better finish this. Hero. I'm not the same as before, now I'm a god. I already have the power of those evil dragons and that of the Albion. I am an immortal being. Mickey. We recovered our youth and it gave us more powers. Issei. I see that you are easily influenced by power. Eru. What would you know about that if you have never had power? Who knew? Issei is stronger than you guys, so you don't have the right to talk about that. Hero. Stop saying stupid things, the only thing I want to hear from you is your moans. Siko. This man is a complete idiot. Issei. You take care of the others and I take care of him. Siko. Well, I'll take care of that idiot. Seeing Ria's. Hero was going to say something, but Issei moved at great speed, hitting him and sending him flying away. The parents also went to attack Issei. He, for his part, evaded the blows and kicked one and hit the other in the face. The girls went against the army and Siko against Ria's. Ria's. You will also be with Hero and you will like it. Siko. Stop talking nonsense, woman. I only belong to Issei. There is no other man like him. Giving him a smile. Ria's didn't say anything and created several circles and launched his attack. Siko, seeing that, just stood there and when they were about to hit him with her own hands, she deflected the attacks. Ria's was surprised to see that. And even more so when seeing that Siko expelled a bit of her power. Siko. You're not the only spoiled girl. Going at her and punching her in the face. Meanwhile Issei was surrounded by his old relatives. Hero. You ruined my life. It's time you pay for it. Issei. You ruined it yourself. Besides, you won't leave here this time. Since you insulted my partner. Hero didn't say anything and went to attack Issei. He deflected the attack and with his own hand cut off her arm. Hero felt no pain at all because of that. Seconds later he regenerated again. Hero. I told you, now I'm a god. You won't be able to with me. Issei continued with his neutral face. Eru took out a gun with magic bullets and started shooting at Issei, but he stopped them with his bare hands. Issei. That's all they have. Mickey upon hearing that took out a sword and went against Issei. But he stopped the sword with his hand and brought his hand close to her ear. And he snapped his fingers causing quite a stir by snapping his fingers. Mickey fainted instantly and Garu, seeing that, got upset and went to attack. But he didn't care about everything he did since Issei stopped every attack. Hero. Death. Going against Issei and wanting to hit him several times, but it was of no use. In that I believe feelings of magic circles of different spells. Hero. You're not going to dodge this. Launching all attacks against Issei. He just stood there and when they were about to hit him alone, he gave a big applause, destroying all spell instantly. Hero just clicked his tongue and used another skill that was illusions, but it was of no use as Issei instantly snapped out of it. Issei. That nonsense doesn't work on me. I killed you once and a second time wouldn't be a problem. Hero. And you call me my monster when you are a cold-blooded murderer. Issei. I don't care what they call me. As long as my family is still alive that's fine with me. Hero didn't say more and began to change, making his body look like a dragon between black and white, and he had 3 heads and a snake tail. Hero. You don't get out of here alive. Starting to spit a large amount of fire with other elements to make it more lethal. After a few minutes Hero thought that he would already be knackered since he used a lot of magic. When the smoke cleared Issei was still standing there but without clothes. He just let out a sigh and from the bracelet he managed to resist he pulled out some pants. Hero. Because you don't die. Issei. You think I was wasting my time too. I trained for days, months and years so I could defend my family. Hero. I'll kill you. Going on the attack. At that Issei activated the Susanoo and grabbed the necks of 2 of the heads. The other was about to attack, but one of the Susanoo's hands destroyed the head and took the other. Hiro didn't know what kind of power that was, but he didn't have time to think since he wanted to kill Issei. He, on the other hand, stood with his arms crossed while he watched as the Susanoo stopped all attacks. Issei. How he revived you? Hiro? That doesn't matter to you. I will help him fulfill his ambition like many people. Issei. I understand. Hiro. I'll kill you here and then I'll go get my reward. Issei. You know how I am, Hiro. Speak bad about me if you want but not about them. Standing up and giving him a blank look. Issei. I was busy for a long time and now you come and cause me more problems. At that he deactivated the Susanoo and Hiro was about to say something until he felt a pain in his abdomen and Issei gave him a big blow that even pierced him completely. He knew the disadvantage of entering dragon mode, so he returned to his human form and went on the attack. Issei took out his katana and hacked him. Hiro didn't care about that and went on the attack. At that Issei deflected an attack and cut his hand with the sword and then scratched his eye. Hiro could only scream from the pain since that affected him quite a bit. Hiro? What did you do to me? Issei. End this stupidity. Starting to walk towards him. At that he turned around to stop an attack by a renegade and in doing so he killed it instantly. When he turned around he noticed that he was not there, much less the other two. Valeria's called many of the soldiers to distract the other girls so she could escape with her companions. Issei just let out a sigh and put the sword away from him. Issei. Sooner or later we will see each other again, Hiro. And that will be the last time. This time I will let you rest a little, just with a little pain. Turning around and going with the girls to return to the house since he has had a long day. Chap. 2. Issei walked a little until he reached where the group was. Along with Sona's entourage. Issei. Kanu didn't have a hard time finding Citri-san. Kanu? There were few rivals who had taken care of them. But with Asami's help he went faster. Issei just gave her a smile and patted her head. Kanu for his part smiled when he felt that and showed it by moving his tails. Siko. Hey, I want to too. I had a boring fight with that crazy woman. Issei. Come. She went with a smile and Issei also patted her head. Lefei and Lucina only had a pout upon seeing that. Issei better created 4 clones for each one since he had to talk to Sona. After that I walked a little towards the other group. Issei. How are you? Sona. Good and thank you for coming to help us Haidu-kun. Issei. No problem, but you should know that I haven't had that last name for years, now I'm Igarashi Issei. But hey, what happened here? Sona. We were just looking for information and out of nowhere Rias attacked us. But that large army they were already prepared for this. Issei. I understand. You should go home and rest, I am going to inform the leaders of this. Sona nodded and stood up and then bowed like the group. Asami. Thanks again. Issei just nodded with a half smile and with that she left. She then turned around and saw how the girls were still enjoying how they caressed her head. At that she made them disappear. Issei. We're leaving. It's been a long day and I want to see the girls. They just nodded and with that the group teleported away. When Issei arrived home, he told the girls everything that happened and most of them were surprised that Hiro was still alive. Issei. I know I said I would be here, but I have to give a report. I will go to the underworld. Enemu? You wish us to come with you? Issei. No problem, you guys rest. But I have a question. Griselda. And that would be. Issei. How are things going with the orphanage? Serafal. Now that you mention it. We have been very busy with work and we haven't had time to go see. Issei. I see. When the meeting is over I'll go see. And the girls where they are. Athena. They went with Tsukiyomi and Vados to the park. You know what they are like. Issei. I see. I'm glad you're having fun. At that she stood up and said goodbye to the girls and left for the underworld. After a long talk in the underworld Issei left the castle and walked a little. But since she attracted a lot of attention, she entered an alley and used jutsu to change her appearance. He changed to that of a child to enter the orphanage without anyone telling him anything. After a walk he arrived at her destination and entered secretly. As she did so she found it strange that she was silent since she was still early. I walked a little and nothing until she went out to the patio and still nothing. He entered the forest a little bit and as he did so he heard someone crying and went that way. When we got there was a girl crying. Issei. You feel fine. She looked up and was still scared. Don't tell them where I am. Issei. To whom? To the person who takes care of this place. Issei. Tell me what's going on here. You must be one of the new kids. Maybe that's why you don't know. Issei. Something like that but it's just me. Where are the others? They left, they were sold. Hearing that, Issei's eyes widened in surprise. Issei. How is that possible? Don't know. I've been hiding here for days. I'm afraid they will find me and take me away. Issei. Do you have any idea where they're going? Sorry, I do not know. You should leave or you'll have a bad time too. Issei just gave her a smile and deactivated the jutsu. She was surprised to see someone older. Issei. Don't worry, I'll fix this. Nothing bad is going to happen anymore. Who are you? Issei. But I'll tell you later. For now I will take you to a safe place. Taking the girl in her arms, they teleported to Seraphol's mansion where she had just arrived to start working. Just after she sat down, Issei arrived and she was surprised to see him with a girl. Issei. She nodded and called a maid to take the girl away. Seraphol. What's going on? Issei. Something bad is happening in that orphanage. There is no child, I found her hiding in the forest. Seraphol. How is that possible? Some inform me that many children arrive and often leave. Issei. They are being sold. I don't like this, you know I hate it when they hurt innocent people, especially if they are children. Seraphol. Sorry, I should have paid more attention to that. Issei. I know it's not your fault and neither is anyone else's. Maybe those people took advantage of this. Seraphol. What are you going to do? Issei. You know the answer very well. I'll go figure this out myself. Seraphol. Leave it to me. You have just arrived from a trip of many years and you have also just had a mission. Issei. I'm fine. Don't worry, I'll be back home soon. Do me the favor of taking care of that girl. She is a little scared by the situation. Seraphol. Okay, be careful. Issei got up from her seat and gave Seraphol a kiss and left the place. Upon reaching his destination he entered the mansion since there was no one inside, he began to investigate the kitchen and upon entering he noticed a mess and when he opened the refrigerator, he noticed that there was barely enough food for 2 people. At that she continued on her way and went to the second floor and began to open the rooms and noticed they were empty. Issei. These people took advantage. Continuing with the investigation until she began to go down to the first floor. But as he did so he heard a door open and it was the main one. At that she hid to see who they were. As she did so she saw a man and a woman come in laughing while the man counted a large wad of money. That only annoyed Issei since she didn't like where that money came from. At that they both began to walk towards the basement and Issei went a good distance away so as not to attract attention. When they arrived at the place they entered a door and Issei could smell an unpleasant smell coming from there. Without wasting any time, she went to the place and kicked the door and when she got inside she was surprised and then upset because she saw several corpses of children. Some were tortured, others had parts of their bodies missing. Both people upon seeing Issei were surprised since they did not feel her presence until now. With what right do you enter my home? Issei. Your house. This place belongs to me. Ahahaha, you're crazy, this place has no owner. They gave it to us and as you can see it is our laboratory. And you're just a nuisance coming here. Issei. Because they did that to some innocent children. Because it's fun and we sell those who look stronger. We are getting richer. Issei. To whom? Holding back the urge to go kill them because of everything she was hearing. I'll tell you how you're going to die. Rizavam-sama buys it from us. Also, thanks to the new council, we have this place and they send us many children of many races. Issei. You see that advice again. I already killed the first ones and now the current ones didn't understand. But well, leaving the talks, it's H. He didn't finish as he felt a great pressure and that was Issei who released part of his power. They saw bright green eyes. Issei started walking towards them. The 2 demons tried to escape but it was impossible. Issei. No one is leaving here. I will do to them what they did to those innocent children. And then I'll go for that advice, I'm already tired of them. Chap. 3. Issei grabbed the woman's shirt collar. She hit him in the face but he didn't move. The man wanted to hit him but Issei sent him flying with the Renengan ability. Issei. I hate people like you who only cause harm. You rotten bucking human. Spitting in his face. Issei didn't even bother to evade that. She was about to say something until Issei let her go and then bumped her head into a table that was there. Issei. If you like hurting children you should also be ready for the consequences. Lifting the girl's face that already had blood from the blow. She was about to say something, but Issei slammed her on the table again and she was like that for a few minutes until she couldn't even recognize her face, but she was still alive. At that Issei took out a tear from the phoenix and forced her to take it. Issei. You think you'll die so easily? Then he sat her on a chair and next to her there were many tools and Issei saw all those tools. Do not you dare. Don't you know that Rizavam-sama is the son of Lucifer? He is a very powerful demon. Issei. I don't care who that Rizavam is. Every time I go to look for him he runs away from the place. But what could he expect from a dirty demon? How dare you insult my master? Issei didn't pay attention to her and she took a bucket of acid. Seeing her, she was a little scared but Issei didn't care and created a clone that forced her to open her mouth. She couldn't do it and Issei dropped the acid into her mouth. She could only cry from the pain since she couldn't scream because her organs were being destroyed. At the end Issei cured her with medical jutsu, leaving her as good as new. Kill me or I will kill you. Issei. How many children did you kill? I lost count. She only focused on her pleas and her horrified faces. Issei. I see. approaching her with a small knife. She just laughed at that. But Issei put Hakai on the knife and stuck it in her eye. She screamed in pain as she was left. Issei left it there. And she went to look for the other one since she noticed that she had escaped. Issei left the mansion and looked for the other guy with the Kai. Until she found him not far from there with two other demons. Without wasting time she took out her wings and flew away at super speed. When I arrived I found myself in front of the three. They were about to attack, but Issei knocked them out and then she teleported to the basement where the girl was still screaming, but Issei didn't care. At that point she woke up the one who had escaped by hitting him in the abdomen. Issei. I'm glad you're awake. Your friend is screaming with joy when she sees you. The boy saw his partner with a knife in her eye while he screamed. Damn monster. Issei. Someone else telling me isn't so bad you know. You won't come out of this well. When? Issei. Yes, when my boss comes he will make you pay. Your friend already told me and I really don't care, I'll be waiting here. But he's a big chicken so he won't come. You know I don't like torturing people, but with guys like you I make an exception. Looking at the little table with the instruments until I pick up an axe. The boy wanted to appear calm, but the sweat he let out was something else. At that Issei raised the axe and stuck it in his leg, just touching the demon's bone. Issei. Don't cut it because you would suffer less. I'm going to kill you when you let me go. Issei. You had that chance but you left. Taking some cables that were there. Issei. You guys watch a lot of movies since almost all of them use instruments in interrogations. I will not tell you anything. Issei. And who told you that I want something from you? I just want to do justice and that's what I will do. I hope you're ready, this is going to be a long night. And you should know that I've had a very, very long day. Driving both nails into the man's feet and he decided to use his own energy to electrocute him. Using the lightning element. Making the boy scream at the top of his lungs. The other two who were fallen woke up from the screams. Issei. Don't worry, your turn will come soon. Giving them a smile not of joy but one of pure pain. Both fallen only turned pale upon seeing that. Hours passed where in the basement they heard many screams from the four of them. Issei had used all the instruments that were there. But he didn't let them die since it would be too easy. Kill me please. I can't resist, I'll do whatever you want. Issei. I don't want anything from you. Just by looking at them I can feel that they are lying. Damned. Issei. Tell me what you want, I've had so many nicknames that I've lost count. Our master will kill you. Issei. And go ahead with that. I'm tired of hearing that your master will kill me if that's the case because he's not coming. It's just a chicken that runs away. Even his father is like that. Don't talk like that about Lucifer-sama, he was the most powerful demon and everyone was afraid of him. Issei. Even if you don't believe me, I met him and he was also a coward who ran away when there was danger. As they say, like a stick, like a chip. Just because we are here you talk like that. If we were free you would be dead by now. Issei. If they want freedom they should have told me before. Releasing everyone quickly. At that they smiled and went on the attack. Issei didn't even move from his position and the four of them attacked at the same time, giving him several blows and throwing a light spear and other spells but nothing. How is it possible? Who the hell are you? Issei. You said it yourself, I'm a damn monster who only gets angry when they make innocent people suffer. And even more so if it's about my family. Taking one with both hands by his head and applying pressure. He could only scream in pain until his head exploded. The others were shocked to see that. But the girl just got angry and went against Issei wanting to hit her, but he just grabbed her face and twisted her neck killing her. The fallen, upon seeing that, only fell to their knees in fear. Please. Issei ignored him and cut off his head with his hand. The other wanted to run, but Issei grabbed his foot and started hitting him against the floor until he killed him. Issei released the leg that he had in his arm since he had detached himself. Issei. It's the least I can do for your suffering children. I hope they rest in peace wherever they are. Starting to walk to the exit. When he left the mansion he destroyed it since there were only tragedies there. He walked through the underworld for a while and went to have a coffee to calm down. In the afternoon he went to the mansion where Seraphil and the girl are. Chap. 4. Issei walked a little through the mansion until he arrived at the room where Seraphil was waiting for him. Issei. You should rest, it's been a long day. Seraphil. That's what I should say. Are you okay? Having a worried face. Issei just canine where she and he laid down on the couch putting her head on her lap. Issei. I'm fine, don't worry, and how is she? Seraphil didn't ask any more since he knew that Issei didn't like to talk about her fights. Seraphil. Okay. After she ate she went to take a bath and fell asleep. Issei. She was tired perhaps since she had been hiding. But hey, it's all over now. Let's rest too. Seraphil. Okay, and since we're here, I can sleep with you. I won't always have this opportunity. Issei. Of course and you know that you shouldn't ask permission for that. Getting up and taking Seraphil from her in her arms, she just smiled at him for that and then they went to rest. The next day the couple was having breakfast until the girl came to the dining room. Issei. How are you feeling? Much better, thank you. Issei. Take a seat and eat some. She nodded and went to the table where seconds later the food was brought to her. Issei. After this I'll take you to buy some clothes since you shouldn't have any. Don't worry about me, I'm fine. Issei. Don't say that. And it's nothing. Because it helps me, not everyone likes me for being a fallen angel. Issei. It doesn't matter what race you are, what matters is that you have good feelings. Not everyone likes me very much because I'm a human. Several demons don't like me because I'm with one of the prettiest girls in the world, being Seraphil. Wow, I really read a little of your story and you are very strong. Seraphil. Thanks for the compliment, but Issei is stronger than me. You along with an angel called Gabriel and the cadre Penemu-sama are very famous. I admire them. Issei. You will meet them soon. Oh really? Issei just smiled at her and she was happy to meet them. Later they were both walking through the streets looking for clothes for her. Seraphil didn't go since she had things to do. Minutes later she had a suitcase with a lot of clothes and they were both having lunch. Issei. You like everything. Everything is beautiful, but he shouldn't have spent so much on me. Issei. It's okay, don't worry about that. You know there is something I don't know about you. What thing? Issei. You haven't told me your name. Because of so many emotions that I have experienced, I forgot it. My name is Yui. Issei. Nice name. Yui. Thank you very much. Issei. Yui, what happened with your parents? Yui. They sold me, they needed money, but I ran away and after being alone for a long time I went there but. Issei. It's okay, don't worry. Yui tell me do you want to live with my family? Yui. But I won't be a bother. Issei. None of that, my family will be happy to have you with us. Yui. Why does he do so much for me? Issei. A child should never be alone. Yui. Thank you very much. Getting up and giving Issei a hug while she cried but with joy. At the end they returned to the mansion and when Seraphil found out what Issei did, she was happy and took the girl in her arms. After that the three went to the human world where Issei was holding Yui's hand. Upon entering the mansion they walked a little until they came across the others. Eri. Tu-chan, you're back. Giving him a big hug which Issei reciprocated. Liza also went to hug him. Until they both noticed someone. Liza. Who is she? Issei. It will be her new sister. Bringing them both down to introduce themselves. Eri. Hello, I'm Igarashi Eri. She said it with a big smile. Liza. My name is Liza Harvey, but I will soon be Igarashi. I hope we get along well. Yui. I'm Yui. Little by little the two girls arrived and Yui was more surprised to see two people. Issei. Gabriel, Penemu you know she admires you a lot. Penemu? Seriously and that. Yui. You guys are strong and very pretty. I would like to be like you. Gabriel. You are already a beautiful girl and with time you will become very strong. Penemu? I'll help you, don't worry. Plus now we are a family. Yui upon hearing that just gave them a big smile. Later they had a great meal where everyone had a good time. The next day the girls asked Issei to go buy some things while they were all in the living room. Office. The day is coming. Siko. Could you tell me what day? Isaka. We have never really celebrated Issei's birthday since she is always traveling. Eri. I already have Tu-chan's gift, I hope he likes it. Astrid. That's how it will be, daughter. Yui. Me. Laviana. Later we are going to look for something for him, yes. Yui. Thanks, I'll look for something cool. Pagaya. Well tomorrow I'm going to distract Issei while you guys take care of everything. Rafia. Well, I already informed the closest friends that she has. Amaterasu. It has to be a big party since he's never had one. Bernald. You will be surprised ha 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 ha. Claire. Well, with that said, everything is ready. Mikishin. It's the first time I give someone a gift but I tried hard to get it. Prince. I say the same thing. But if it's for my loved one, it doesn't matter, what I like most is seeing that big smile. Naruko. I know. They were talking for several minutes until Issei arrived with the things. Issei. Tell me Yui do you want to go to school with Eri and Liza? Yui. Sure it will be fun. Seraphil. I'll talk to the director and you can go soon. Yui just gave them a big smile for that. The day passed and the next morning Issei was waking up but her bed felt strange until she woke up and she was surprised to be in a desert. Pagaya. How did you sleep dear? Issei. Fine but what are we doing here? Pagaya. Don't you remember what place this is? I'll be sad if you don't tell him. Issei. Of course I know. This was where we fought a little and then talked. How do you think I would forget that? Pagaya. Well you were gone for many years and I thought you had. Issei. No matter how many years pass, there are moments that I will never forget. And one of those is how I met all of you. Pagaya. I'm glad to hear that. Approaching Issei and giving him a hug. Issei. If we went to the past and you saw yourself you would notice the big change since one is so tender and the other is very serious. Pagaya. Well, when I met my daughters, things changed. And more when being with you. Issei. I like seeing you smile more. But your pearly eyes are beautiful just like Hinata's. Pagaya. Issei, if you talk to me like that you only make me fall in love with you more. Issei. That is my intention and tell me I am achieving it. Pagaya. I would say too much, but it's okay. Issei. And tell me what we will do here. Pagaya. If you want, we can go to a forest and walk a little. The truth is, I wanted to be with you today. Issei. If that is your wish, my duty is to fulfill it. Pagaya just gave him a tender smile and then opened a portal where they both left to spend the day. And distract Issei while they prepare everything. Chap. 5. Pagaya took Issei to various places so she could distract him. Issei for his part was happy to be with someone from his family. Issei. All those places are beautiful. Pagaya. I don't usually visit them since I use them to fight. But now I will use them to be with my family. Also, one of those places is special since we had our date there. Issei. You looked very beautiful that day. Pagaya. I'll dress like this another time. Giving Issei a wink he only smiled at Issei's change of attitude, but he liked him. Hours passed and Kagaya noticed that it was time to return. At that he created a portal where they both left it, appearing outside the house. When Issei entered he saw that it was dark and he was about to say something, but then the lights turned on and everyone came out, giving him the big surprise. Issei was surprised since he saw many arrangements in the house and noticed that he said happy birthday. At that he remembered that it was his birthday since years ago he stopped caring about it. Gabriel. You thought we would forget something so important. Alicia. Just by seeing your face we can tell that you didn't know. Issei. It's just that so many years have passed that over time I forgot that. He approached each girl and gave a hug for what they did as did the girls. Then he went to greet each guest who had come. Most were the leaders with their families. Surzich had brought his parents as they wanted to apologize for everything Riaz did. Issei. Well, I don't know what to say, honestly, this is the first time they've celebrated my birthday. Before I just used to do it and over time I put it aside. Thank you all very much for coming this day. Bowing and getting up he gave them a big smile with some tears but of happiness. When the girls saw that, they ran to him giving me a hug. Issei. Thank you and with all that said please enjoy the party. Each leader approached Issei to give him a gift and he happily accepted them. Surzich. Issei, I want to introduce you to my parents. Then Alana. We want to apologize for everything my daughter did. Xiaudicus. They caused you so much trouble if you want anything please tell us. Issei. Your words are more than enough. At that he looked around and saw Siko eating. He only broke out in a drop of sweat since she liked to eat. He called her and she went to her with a plate in hand. Issei. Siko, I want to introduce you to Surzich with her parents, she is Venelana and Xiaudicus. Siko. A pleasure to all three of you. Issei. Surzich, you know about some of my trips, don't you? Surzich. Serafal told me that you are going to help someone, but he didn't tell me who. Issei. Well, on one of those trips I met Siko and well. Siko. What my boyfriend wants to say is that my name is Siko Gremory. The three of them opened their eyes wide upon hearing that. Issei. I went to an alternate dimension and there she was conical and you were her family. Then Alana. This is new, the truth is I didn't expect such news. Issei. I know. But I want them to treat her well. She is a good girl. Well, sometimes she goes crazy. Siko. Hey. Taking Issei by the shirt. Issei. She goes crazy with love. Siko. I like it that way. Giving him a smile. Issei thoughts. I almost screwed up. Letting out a sigh. Issei. Well, getting back to the point, I hope you get along well. And one thing Siko is Surzich's older sister. Siko. Call me One-E-chan from now on. Surzich. I don't believe. She didn't finish as she had a big smile making Surzich feel a chill and with no other option she had to say it. Surzich. Okay on One-E-chan. Issei being there couldn't hold back his laughter since he was as red as her hair because he was ashamed of her. The parents didn't know what to respond, but they were happy to know that they had a new member of the family and even more so to know that she likes to bother Surzich. Siko. Issei. When she heard it, she ran away since he didn't want to know what he would do to her. She went to visit the other guests and everyone had a good time. Later a big cake arrived for everyone. Issei was surprised but happy for everything he was experiencing that day. Later all the guests left, leaving only the family. At that the girls were the first to take a few steps forward with their gifts in hand. Iri. 2-chan I hope you like my gift. Giving him a small box. Issei took it and opened it and when he did so he saw a bracelet that said the best dad in the world. Issei. She is very cute, thank you daughter. Iri. I made it myself I know what. Issei. What matters is the intention daughter, that makes me very happy. Approaching her and giving her a hug which she reciprocated. Then I go to the list with another small box. When Issei opened it he saw a necklace and a photo inside where they were both with a big smile. Issei. I like it a lot, I'll never take it off. Putting it on like the bracelet. Afterwards he gave her a big hug which she happily accepted since he liked what he gave her. Yui approached with some pity and gave him a box as well. Being a coffee cup with the phrase "I love you dad, your daughter Yui." Issei just gave her a big smile when he saw what she said. Yui. Next year I'm going to try hard, I promise you, dad. Issei. You don't need to do that. Whatever they give me is fine for me. Calling the three girls and giving them all a hug since he was happy to have them next to her. After that I keep the cup on her bracelet so I always have it with him. Someone was about to say something, but then Shichigami arrived. Shichigami. I missed a party, but I won't miss the gift-giving time. Approaching Issei and giving him a hug. Shichigami. Happy birthday Issei, sorry for the delay. Issei. Okay, I'm glad you're here. She just smiled at him and pulled away from him. The first to pass was Kaguya since she was with him all day. Kaguya. Issei, you have made us very happy and now it is our turn to make you happy. I was going to give you this before, but this is a better time. Approaching Issei and touching her forehead to his. Then she asked him to close her eyes and he did. Seconds later there was a small flash of light and then she separated from him. Kaguya. Now you have the complete Rinnegan. Since they had previously implanted it. Plus when we have our children they will have it faster. Issei. Thank you very much. I would use it to protect them. Kaguya just smiled at him and gave him a kiss. Vados approached and gave him a photo which surprised Issei and made him happy. Issei. I had forgotten that moment. Vados. Well, then you challenged the gods and there was no time for the others to give it to you. Issei. Thank you very much. Since it was a photo with his companions when he fought against the other universes. He was next to Goku making the peace sign. Eride approached Issei and gave him a large box and Issei opened it and saw a sword black as night. Eride. It is of the best quality so when you fight I hope you think of me. Issei. I always do. Little by little everyone was giving him their gifts, making Issei happy for so many surprises. Giving him his, Shichigami kissed him goodbye and won to the girls and then left since he couldn't leave his throne for too long. The last one was Siko who approached Issei with a big smile. Siko. My gift is very special. Seeing off as she just nodded and created a dimensional gap where she took Issei and they both entered. Yui. Where she took dad. Baruko. They went for a walk, they'll be back tomorrow. Hinata. Go rest today, it was a long day and tomorrow you have classes. Aphrodite. And you Yui start classes tomorrow. Yui. I'm excited. Isaka just called them to tell them a story. Meanwhile both boys were leaving the dimensional gap. Siko just threw Issei on the bed and with a magic circle she changed her clothes. And she took a seat at a table that was there. Siko. It will be a long night. The girls told me what you are like and I hope that's the case. Giving him a smile. Issei was going to say something, but Siko jumped on top of her. For her part, he just took her in her arms and spent the night like that. The next day Siko woke up and saw Issei still asleep. Siko thoughts. I thought the girls were exaggerating, but they were right. Issei is amazed. We are going to repeat it another time. Letting out a light laugh. Making Issei wake up and she just gave him a smile and then a kiss. Later both of them returned on time as the girls were going to go to study. The girls asked Issei that she would take them since they had something to do. Issei just nodded and left with them. At that they all come to Siko and she just gave them a satisfied smile. The girls understood everything. Chap. 6. Issei was walking through the park until she decided to take a seat. Since she had stopped having missions and she wanted to spend time with her family. Issei. These days have been unique. At that he closed his eyes and felt what little breeze there was since summer was soon approaching. Well he was lost in thought until he remembered one thing. At that moment he stood up and went into the small forest there and called Shichigami. When she entered she saw him curious. Shichigami. Something bad is happening. Issei. Maybe I can't see you. Shichigami. We saw each other not long ago and well of course you can see me. But tell me something is wrong. Issei approached her and whispered something hateful to her. Issei. Well. Shichigami. Of course there is no problem, but if you are sure to go you must remember the problems you caused. Issei. It doesn't matter as long as they can be happy it's fine. Shichigami. Okay, go get them. Issei smiled at her and gave her a kiss and then she sent him to her house. When he arrived he went to the patio since he saw most of them there. Issei. Naruko, Hinata, can I talk to you? She just nodded and went to him. Naruko. Something bad is happening. Issei. None of that, I just wanted to know if you guys want to go home to visit your mom. When they heard that, they were surprised and looked at each other. Hinata. It sounds good, honestly, we don't know how much time has passed there, but I miss my mom. Naruko. When we leave. Issei was going to answer, but then Kaguya arrived. Kaguya. I'll go too. Issei. Are you sure? You must remember that you are not very well liked there. Pagaya. I really don't care. I want to go with you. Issei. If so, I have no objection. I'll tell the others about our trip. Please get ready, we'll leave in a few minutes. They nodded and left. On Issei's part, she went to see those who were outside and he told them what she would do. They all agreed to let them go since they knew that Naruko and Hinata loved their mother very much. Issei couldn't say goodbye to the girls, but he left them a note saying that she would be back soon. At that, the four left the place, and Chichigami created the portal for the group to leave. Pagaya for her part changed her appearance so that she wouldn't be bothered. Upon leaving the portal, the four were surprised as there was a lot of destruction and some people on the ground. Naruko knew how to recognize one, so she went to him. Naruko. What happened here? Because there is only destruction. Ara opened his eyes and a blonde horse he hadn't seen in a while. Ara. Naruko, seriously, it's you. Naruko. Yes, but tell me. Ara. We were attacked by Mama Shikim Satsuki. Pagaya upon hearing that name was a little surprised since she knew who he was. Issei. Tell me, do you know who he is? Pagaya. He hasn't heard from him in thousands of years. He didn't expect to see him again. Issei. You like him. Pagaya. The truth is I didn't get along with anyone. Naruko. Gaara, get some rest while we take care of it. Ara. Fine, but because you look so young, nothing has changed. She just smiled at him and left him there. Naruko. We have to stop this. Issei. Okay, but it will be you too. I want to see your progress. Hinata. We're going to show you how good we are now. Issei. Well, I'm glad to hear that. If they can't go Kagaya or me. Naruko. We're going to win, you'll see. Issei just nodded and took Kagaya by the waist and they both teleported away. Both girls saw each other and went to the battlefield. After a few minutes of travel they arrived and saw some injured people. Naruko knew how to pick up Mema and Sasuke who were still fighting, but just barely. Hinata looked around and saw Neji passed out, but she put him aside. Naruko. You're ready for action. Hinata. I'll cover you, don't worry. Taking out about to be ready. Naruko thoughts. Are you ready, Kurama, for action? Kurama. As always. Naruko just smiled and went on the attack. When Mama Shiki arrived he had hit both boys. He was about to say something until he was hit by Naruko who had gone into Kurama mode. Both of them were surprised when they saw her since they hadn't heard from her in years. Mama Shiki. I finally found out that the little chakra that Biju boy had was not enough, just like the other brat. Naruko. You think you'll have it easy. Creating a Rasengan and throwing it at him, but he just extended his hand and absorbed the attack. He just smiled and then launched the attack again, only with more power. Naruko barely managed to evade the attack. Hinata shot an arrow to distract him. Mama Shiki, seeing that, stopped the arrow with his hand, but at that moment it exploded. Mama Shiki. Damn. Meanwhile Issei and Kagaya were watching the fight from afar. Issei. The years passed very quickly here. Kagaya. Yes, but there are people who never change. Issei. That's his nature. And tell me, Kagaya, what you tell me about him. Kagaya. Maybe you're jealous since you ask a lot. Issei. And if so. Kagaya just smiled and walked up to Issei and gave him a hug. Kagaya. Don't talk nonsense, I just love you. My race travels through dimensions and destroys planets, taking away their life energy. We always travel in a group of two. Issei. Yes, and your partner. Kagaya. I killed him because when we came to this planet I wanted the fruit of the tree god. Issei. Because they did that. Naruko. To lengthen our lives. Our goal is to live longer. Issei. But living only to destroy sounds boring, honestly. Kagaya. Well, we don't think like that. Well, that was before and now I don't care about that. Issei. Tell me, do you want to go help the girls or I'll go? I can tell they're having a hard time. Kagaya. I'll go. It will be faster if I do it myself. Giving Issei a kiss on the cheek and leaving. While Naruko was fighting Mama Shiki with Taijutsu. When she hit him he got upset and he attacked with more power. But then Kagaya arrived and stopped his fist. Kagaya. They're taking a while. Naruko. It absorbs my power. That's cheating. Mama Shiki. Don't get involved. Or they call you scum. Kagaya turned around and saw him with a serious face. Kagaya. Don't talk to me like that because I'm inferior. Releasing him and kicking him in the abdomen. At that she started walking and returned to her true appearance. Mama Shiki got up and was surprised to see her. Mama Shiki. How are you still alive? Kagaya. Things happen. Mama Shiki. You are a traitor, you killed her partner and you did not complete your mission. That's why I came myself to do it. Kagaya. You won't. Although I don't have anything important in this world, but the two of them do. Mama Shiki. I'm stronger than you now, you don't have a chance against me. Kagaya. Maybe in the past yes, but I wasn't wasting my time since I was training. Taking attack position. Chap. 7. Mama Shiki, so upset she was, attacked Kagaya that she only created a barrier to defend herself from the attack. Then she saw Naruko and Hinata and they understood. They both attacked Momoshiki, giving Naruko a blow to the face and Hinata kicking him in the ribs, sending him flying. Issei, for her part, looked at everything in the distance with a smile and also began to scream. Issei. You girls can call me if you need anything. Naruko. You just watch, okay? Issei just pouted and sat down to continue watching the fight. Kaguya. We have to finish this quickly or else those useless people are going to wake up and only cause problems. Also, perhaps Issei is still wanted for what he did at the end of the war. Naruko. You're right, this won't be so easy. Besides, if we don't do it quickly, Issei might get bored and might come too. Hinata. It's not good to always depend on him, we have to show that we can do it alone. The other two nodded and went to attack, while Momoshiki was getting up from the rubble and launched several attacks. Naruko. The only thing you can do is steal our powers since otherwise you are weak. Momoshiki. Shut up, damn. Launching several attacks against both. Then she put both hands on the ground and created a large earth golem and started laughing. Naruko entered Kurama mode and Kaguya helped her by giving her more power and thus both creatures hit each other. Issei looked at that in amazement. Issei. Wow, you can't always see these kinds of fights, it's great. Then Hinata stretched out her bow while she hit her with a wind-type chakra and at the end she fired the shot, hitting the golem in the abdomen. Naruko took advantage of this and destroyed the golem's face. Kaguya. Give up, Momoshiki, you have no chance against us. Momoshiki. Shut up, you damn traitor, but remember, I'm not alone, many more will come to this planet even more knowing that you're still alive. Kaguya. I don't care who comes, I will finish them off. Plus I'm not alone now. Momoshiki. Ha, you think those two brats could beat them? At that Issei touched him on the shoulder. Issei. They are not alone, I am here to protect them. They will have to get over me first if they want to do anything to my beloved Kaguya. Momoshiki. You, a simple human, can handle them, ha, you have fallen under Kaguya by being with this inferior being. Kaguya. Say what you want, I don't care, it's better that you die. Momoshiki was about to leave, but Issei just tightened his grip on his shoulder. Issei. You know I would like to fight you, but I don't have time so you will leave without much pain. She was about to say something until Issei created a ball of power on her finger and put it on Momoshiki's chest. Seconds later, he began to disappear while he screamed as he felt pain. Naruko. You said painlessly. Issei. That's very little you know. But hey, we're leaving very soon, more people will come. Also, I already located where Tsunade is. Hinata. Seriously, then let's go. At that point the group set off, but not before Kaguya changed her appearance. Issei. Tell me, Kaguya, why you take Claire's appearance. Kaguya. I had no other idea. Issei. I see. They continued on their way until after several minutes they reached their destination, which was Senju territory. Both of them, out of excitement, didn't even touch the door and entered quickly, and when they did so seconds later, Tsunade arrived, creating a crater since she had arrived quickly since she felt a familiar chakra. When he was in front of them he was surprised and happy. Naruko and Hinata without wasting time went to her, giving her a big hug. Tsunade. It's been more than 10 years. Both of them were surprised when they heard that. Naruko. It's been a long time, Mom. We had missed you. Tsunade. Me too, but come in like this they tell me. And they tell me who their friend is too. Long time no see, Issei. Issei. I say the same thing, Tsunade, more than you think. Since for Issei hundreds of years had already passed. At that point the group entered the mansion and went straight to the living room. Hinata. Mom, can you tell us what happened during this time? Tsunade. Many things have happened since they left. The first thing was that you, Issei, are the most wanted person in the 5 great nations. But the great reward. Several asked for an explanation, but the cages never gave one. Some towns refused to give your location. Tell me what you did to be so wanted. Issei for her part scratched the back of his head. Hinata. Issei fought against everyone, Mom, at the end of the 4th war. That is the reason why it is so sought after. Tsunade. I see, and well, Minato left his position as Hokage and well, Mema took the leadership. Naruko. It was amazing. Tsunade. He married several women to make his clan prosper. And Mito married Sasuke and Sakura is with him too. Naruko. In the end Sakura's dream came true by being with that depressed emo, but Mito surprises me. Hinata. And what happened with the Hyuga clan? Tsunade. Since what you did, a few things happened, one of them being that Niji took the lead. Hinata. I thought I'd give it to Hanabi. Tsunade. That's right, but they both fought and the result was obvious. There are many things that happened, there was peace until that person attacked. I didn't go since as you can see I already reached that age. Naruko. Ha, now you can tell. At that moment Tsunade hit him on the head. Naruko only rubbed where she was hit. Tsunade. And what about you? Hinata. We met a lot of people and we fought too. We also have 2 daughters and a little sister. Taking a photo where the 3 girls were together. Tsunade was surprised to see them. Tsunade. Your daughters but they don't look alike. Naruko. Even though they are not our blood daughters, we love them very much. They are also very pretty. Even the most serious person can fall for his charm hahaha it's the same with me. Tsunade. I doubt the last part. I'm surprised that Issei is still with you. Naruko. Hey, don't say that. Issei. Okay, that childish attitude is what I like about her. Tsunade. I'm glad to hear that and tell me what brings you here again. Issei. I wanted Naruko and Hinata to see her again since they missed her. But upon arriving we saw that disorder. But the three of them finished him off. Tsunade. I understand and what will you do now? Issei. First things first I want Naruko to try his favorite food just like he does. Being ramen and cinnamon rolls. Naruko. Great if so let's go right now. Issei. Naruko remember what just happened, I don't think it's open. Wait a few days yes. Naruko. Okay but it will be boring to do it. For now I want to spend time with my mother. Giving him a big hug. They talked for a few more minutes telling various stories and also Issei tired of photo albums of the whole family where there were embarrassing moments of all of them. They both laughed when they saw all that and the girls were embarrassed. By then Tsunade had already found out about Kagaya. At first she was surprised but she let it go. But he was shocked when he found out how many partners Issei had. When the girls saw her face they just laughed since it was normal for it to happen. Later everyone went to rest as they had a lot to do. Chap. 8. It was a new day and the girls were having breakfast and one was about to ask about Issei until the door was opening and they all turned to look and were surprised to see a person they didn't know. Naruko. Who are you and how did you enter my mother's house? Getting up and getting into an attack pose. Issei. I am Issei, the person who trained you since you were a girl. When they heard that, everyone was surprised since she was a very different person. Hinata got up and tried to dispel the jutsu, but nothing happened. Hinata. How is it possible? It should work. Issei. It doesn't work because it's not a jutsu. It's one of the abilities of one of my rings and well, until not long ago I realized that I had it. Kagaya. But that appearance is unique. Issei. I took the appearance of a friend of mine from one of my trips, his name is Tank-san, maybe I will visit him in the future. Naruko. I hope to go with you to meet him too. Issei just nodded with a smile and at that Issei took his seat and everyone started eating breakfast. Tsunade. And what will they do during their time here? Issei. I'll go do some research and you girls. Naruko. You already know the answer, I'll go get my ramen, I hope it's open. Hinata. I'm going to accompany her. Kagaya. I'll go with them so they don't get into any more trouble Naruko. Naruko. Hey. Issei. I see if something happens, tell me. They nodded and at the end the group left the house through different paths. Issei attracted a lot of attention because of his appearance since it was rare to see someone like that there. For his part, he was focused on looking for a library to find information about everything that happened. Minutes later I arrived at his destination after asking many people. When the manager arrived, she was shocked when she saw how handsome Issei was and she just nodded at everything she told her without knowing what she was asking. At the end Issei walked and took several books and when he had them he went to sit at a table. At that he opened a book and was about to start reading it until he saw a girl next to him. Issei. You don't mind if I sit here? She turned to look at Issei and was surprised by how she was and she just shook her head. Issei just gave her a smile and started reading her. Time passed and it was just silence and Issei had gotten up to go get a glass of water and when he was coming back he saw newspapers there and took one. When he returned to his stall he noticed the girl still like that and he sat down and opened the newspaper and the first thing he read was that Issei is still hiding from all the villages, he is a chicken not to show his face. He only raised an eyebrow when he read that since they were still looking for him even in the newspapers. By instinct he had read it aloud. He is not a chicken, he is a hero. Issei turned his head and saw the girl. Issei. Because you think that? It is easy to accuse him without giving any proof, plus he helped many villages in the past. And many people love him for that and if they saw him they would never say anything about him. Issei. I can tell that you like that person. I admire him since I heard that when he arrived in this village he was the genin of two people who were very strong, one being Naruko Senju and Hinata Senju. But they disappeared out of nowhere and no one knows about them. The Kages think that he killed them and that is why he is wanted and for other things. Issei. Wow, that's serious. I hope to see him one day and ask him for some advice to be strong like him or them. Issei. I know you will make it and by the way my name is Tank-san and you. Sarada Ichiha. Issei. You are his daughter and I mean Sasuke. If you know him. Issei. Not at all, I only heard stories about him. Sarada. I see, and if he has several stories about how he saved several people and how he stopped the fourth war with my uncle and Hokage Mema. Issei. I can hear sadness in your voice when you talk about him. Sarada. I wanted to be recognized by him and my two mothers, but it was impossible since they dedicate more time to my sister Satsuki. Issei thoughts. Maybe these families always like to leave someone aside. Issei. I see, but don't worry, you're going to show them how strong you are and they'll take you into account. Sarada. You believe that? Issei. Of course, trust me. Tell me you want to go get some ramen, it's a little late and I might see someone there. Sarada. Okay. They both got up and headed towards the place while talking about trivial things. When they arrived at their destination they noticed that the place was full. Issei for her part did not like that and they went deeper. And when he arrived he just let out a sigh as he saw Naruko with a stack of plates as well as Hinata, while Kagaya just looked at them with a serious face. Sarada, upon recognizing both girls, was shocked because she saw some of the people she admires the most. Issei. I think the emotion got the better of you two. They both saw him again and were going to say his name, but they remembered that in the morning before leaving, she told them to call him Tang-san. Issei. Tell me Claire what happened here. Kagaya. They were overcome with emotion since Naruko challenged Hinata, and here is the result. Issei. I see. Sarada. It's really you two. Hinata. Tang-san, who is she? Issei. This is Sarada Uchiha. They were both surprised to hear that name since they knew whose daughter she was. Naruko. So you're the daughter of that depressed emo. Sarada. You met him. Naruko. Of course we studied together, plus he was just angry and with that attitude of revenge. Issei. Well, I'll eat something, I told them to eat with me, but you must be full. Naruko. I can still do it, don't worry. Hinata. Me too. Kagaya. Sure. With that, the group went to sit down and ordered their food. Minutes later, it arrived and Issei was about to take the first bite until a group of Anbu surrounded them. Issei. The tranquility ended here. Anbu. The Hokage-sama wishes to speak with you. Naruko. I don't feel like seeing him and I'm eating. Anbu. They gave us permission to use force. Issei. Well, we'll go, we don't want to ruin other people's food. Getting up from his seat just like the girls. Sarada was going to do it, but Issei stopped her and left her there while the others left. After a long walk they arrived at the building and walked a little further until they reached a room where, to their surprise, there were many acquaintances and they were surprised that they were both still 16 years old. Emma. Wow, but say nothing has changed. Naruko. And you got older just like the rest. Niji. Where Hinata had been, we were looking for her for a long time since as the new leader I removed that order that she not return to the house. Hinata. I've been busy and I have better things to do and that's not my house. Emma. And who is your friend? Seeing Kagaya with Claire's appearance from head to toe with a smile and focused more on her chest. Well, I leave Issei aside. Naruko. This is Claire and she is my sister since she is the partner of my beloved Tang-san. Holding Issei's hand as did Hinata while Claire just walked up to him. Emma didn't even hide her face from how upset she was just like Sasuke since she always wanted Naruko to give her good children. They both looked at Issei with murderous intent while he was calm with a half smile. Chap. 9. Naruko. They should hide their joy more. Emma. How can they be with that boy with an effeminate face as well as being weak? Kagaya. She is the strongest person that exists, plus ugly people like you don't know about beauty. They will never be like him. That only made the men present angry. Hinata. It would be better to get out of here. Sasuke. No one leaves here and now that they're back it's time to go back to what had already been said. Naruko. And that would be. Emma. You will marry Sasuke and Niji will marry Hinata and now that I think about it, I need another wife and that girl works for me. Naruko. Ha 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 ha, don't make me laugh with your stupidity, I already have someone, plus I have daughters. Hinata. Me too. Kagaya. Also. Emma. They might as well commit to our children. Naruko and Kagaya just laughed hearing such nonsense from Emma. Emma. Shut up now. Naruko. How do you think our beautiful daughters are going to marry your sons who must be just like their stupid parents? Do not dream. Kagaya. Don't compare something beautiful with something ugly. Emma, upon hearing that, just stood up because he was upset about what they called his children. As he did so he approached the group and wanted to slap Naruko since she started everything but Issei, who had remained silent, held her hand. Issei. Don't even try. Emma. Let me go, effeminate, or you will know the consequences. Don't you know that I rule this city? Issei. I don't care who you are, but you don't touch my women. Emma. I am the shinobi god so respect me. Issei. That's just a title that I don't care about. Squeezing Mema's hand until she cracks a bone. For his part, he managed not to scream. Issei. I think I used a little force, I'm sorry, shinobi god. Emma. You will know the consequences of making fun of me. Niji. Hinata, destiny wants us to be together so you have nowhere to go. Hinata. I loved you as a brother, but you changed now you are just a stranger to me and if you try to do something you will know the consequences you must know that I am not the same as before. Niji. I am the leader of a clan and I must have someone strong by my side and that is you, it can be by hook or by crook. Issei. Let it be the hard way then, but you should know that I won't be soft on you. Niji. Give yourself up for dead for stealing my wife. Going to attack Issei ready to kill him, but when he was about to hit him, Issei stopped his blow and Niji looked up only to see a fist hit him in the face that sent him flying through walls, causing him to leave the building. Some, upon seeing Niji, noticed him unconscious and wondered what happened in the Hokage tower. Issei. Someone else wants to be smart today. Sasuke. If you want to die, so be it. Tomorrow afternoon go to field number 7, well if you have the courage to go. Issei. Well I see you there, but you must be ready to lose and friends can come to help you. At the end of saying that I walked to the exit since I had no bad thing to do there. Kagaya. Issei, I can take care of them. Issei. I'll do it, don't worry, I'll finish quickly. Naruko. I thought you were going to hit him earlier because of the things he said. Issei. He was going to do it, but I held back and you defended our daughters just like you. Naruko. It was obvious how it wouldn't be if they are the most beautiful girls in the world. Kagaya. It was also worth it to see their faces. Issei. Let's leave this topic and go explore where you want to go. Hinata. We can go to the academy, the truth is I have good memories from there. Naruko. Thanks to Hinata it wasn't that bad, so let's go, it will be fun. Plus maybe I'll see my niece. Issei. You're talking about Sarada. Naruko. Yup. Issei just smiled at her and with that the group headed to the academy, where after a few minutes of walking, they reached their destination and entered the academy. Where they went to several places and then went to the room where they were. When they entered they saw several children there and they were surprised to see them. Issei. And now. Naruko. Leave it to me. Taking a few steps forward and looking at everyone and how far away he saw Sarada and when she saw her she was surprised. Naruko for her part just smiled at him. Then he looked to the sides and could feel the chakra of Mema and Sasuke's children. And who are you to enter without permission? Naruko. No one important, just wanted to see my old classroom. Since you saw it long from here. Kagaya. What a rude brat, let me guess, you are Mema's son. It is obvious that yes. I will be the next Hokage since I am the strongest. Hinata. Just like when I was a child. Not if I take your position since I am the next heir of the strongest clan that is the Uchiha. Issei. Naruko, let's get out of here. I feel like I see those two useless people in them. How dare you talk about my father like that? Issei. I'm just saying things like they are, kid. I'll teach you a lesson. Creating a Rasengan in his hand and going against Issei, and for his part he just stood there and when the boy was about to hit his Rasengan Issei stopped it with his hand and absorbed it. Everyone was shocked by what he did. Issei. You are too young to know such an ability. Rot. Wanting to hit him, but Kagaya hit him on the back of the head since she had gotten tired of him. The Uchiha, seeing that, also went to attack, but Kagaya put him in a Jingetsu, causing him to fall to the ground unconscious. Kagaya. Leave home Issei. Issei. They're just children, leave them alone, and it's their parents' fault for spoiling them so much. I'm glad girls aren't like that. Hinata. Well, they behave well since they are happy to be praised by their dear father. Issei. I see, and that's why I love them very much. Sarada, do you want to go eat ice cream with us? Sarada was still in shock and upon hearing Issei's voice she came out of her trance and just nodded. Issei just smiled at her and she got up from her seat and went with them, leaving two children lying on the floor without taking anything of importance. Sarada. He's not afraid that the Hokage will do something to him. Issei. Don't worry about that. Naruko. He is very strong, that conceited man, I couldn't even touch him, hahaha. Kagaya. Don't say that in front of the girl. Naruko. I'm sorry but I'm telling the truth, and tell me Sarada who your group mates are since you're a genin. Sarada. It's Minato, Fugaku and Mitsuki. Naruko. Who is the last one? Sarada. Orochimaru's son. Hinata. He had a son, wow, what a surprise. Issei. And you say it. How more things change. With that, they continued on their way and went to an ice cream shop where Sarada took the opportunity to ask both girls many things. Chap. 10. It got late and Sarada went to her house happy since for the first time she had had a good time. All the group returned to the Senju mansion and when they were arriving they saw a person at the door. Hinata. Hanabi is you. Hanabi. If it's me, I'm glad that you still remember me even though so many years have passed. Issei. Hinata, we're going to get ahead of ourselves, come back soon. She just nodded and the rest entered the mansion. Hinata. Something is happening to make you come at this time. Hanabi. I thought you would be happier to see me since many years have passed. Hinata. As I remember, you never liked me and I did everything possible so that we could become sisters again like before. Hanabi. I know, but you remember how our father was back then, he wanted the best for us. Hinata. I always tried my best to please him, but in the end nothing happened. Now I have a family that, if they love me like you saw, does like the person there is my partner, and with him I have two beautiful daughters and a little sister too. Hanabi was surprised to hear that since she noticed that Hinata hadn't changed at all. Hanabi. How is it possible if you look like you did years ago? Hinata. It's thanks to my beloved, but that doesn't matter right now. Tell me why you came, I have to go home quickly. Hanabi. You changed a lot, you're not like I remember you. Hinata. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't have been able to be with my beloved. Hanabi. I want you to come back to us now, you are no longer wanted for what you did. Hinata. Not long ago I refused to return and the current patriarch knows it. Hanabi. But. Hinata. But this conversation doesn't end here. Better go home, it's late. Without waiting for a response, he began to walk to the entrance of her house, and entering it. Closing the door, she saw Issei leaning against a wall waiting for her. When she saw him, she went to him and hugged him. By then, she had already returned to her true appearance. Issei. You should get along better with her, it's your family. Hinata. She changed a lot since she was a child, and I think Niji sent her to look for me. Issei. I see. Hinata. Issei, I can stay with you tonight. I want you to hold me all night. Issei. If you wish, my beloved, I cannot deny you. Hinata gave him a smile and was about to answer, but Naruko and Kagaya arrived. Naruko. We also want you to hug us tonight. But we don't want clones. Issei. Okay. How about we go to dinner first? The girls were happy and entered the mansion so they could have dinner and later be with him. The next day Naruko and Hinata were on either side of Issei while Kagaya was on her chest. Nobody had anything on since Naruko got excited and the other two followed suit. But in the end they lost since Issei didn't let them win so easily. Kagaya. Issei, how are you? Issei. Good, and you are comfortable. Kagaya. Better than ever, since listening to your heartbeat relaxes me much more. I would like to always sleep here, but other girls also have the right to be with you. Issei. Whenever you have the opportunity you can do it. Kagaya. Since these days I'm not going to waste any of them. Issei just gave her a kiss on the forehead which made Kagaya happy. Little by little the other two began to wake up. Naruko. I thought that with three of us we were going to beat you, but we lost. Issei. As long as they are satisfied, I can't give up. Hinata. I could tell, and tell me, Issei, are you really going to fight them? Issei. They wanted it that way and I can't deny the truth. Naruko. They only serve to annoy, and everyone loves them since they say that the two of them ended the fourth war, but in the end you did everything. Kagaya. They are weak, I would have killed them quickly if it hadn't been for you, dear. Issei. The truth is I don't care about wars, the only thing I care about is my family. The girls only hugged him more upon hearing that. Kagaya for her part saw Issei's necklace. Kagaya. I should save that necklace in this battle or else you might lose it. Issei. I know this is one of the most valuable things I have for me, since my little sister gave it to me. Well, you have to get up since it's a long day. Naruko. But I don't want to be here, I'm very comfortable being with you. Issei. Me too, but there is a lot to do, so let's go. The three of them just let out a sigh and got out of bed and went to their rooms to take a bath and then go to breakfast. Minutes later the group was having breakfast. Hinata. Issei, do you want more coffee? Issei. Yes please. Taking out a cup from her bracelet being Yui's. Tsunade. You always carry your coffee cup. Issei. If my daughter gave it to me, it is something very important to me. Tsunade. I understand. I hope Naruko is a good mother and she doesn't teach him bad things. Naruko. Hey, don't say that, and also because it's just me, Hinata is here too. Tsunade. I know she's a great mother. Naruko. I am too, since I always arrive at 3 to have fun. Kagaya. But in the end the one who has the most fun is you, so someone else has to go to take care of you too. Upon hearing that, Tsunade just started laughing and Naruko went to Issei and hugged him. Issei. Don't worry, and as I said before, that part of you is the one I like the most. Tsunade. Naruko, you're too old to do that, go to your position. Naruko. I don't want to, and Issei is going to feed me right. Making a puppy face, and Issei for her part just petted her head and gave her a smile since she liked to see them happy. After having breakfast and talking a little, the girls went out for a walk and then they would go directly to the place for the meeting. Issei, for her part, stayed at the mansion going to the library to read a little. Since one of his favorite things was to read because that calmed him down more. Meanwhile elsewhere, 2 girls were walking through a forest as they were on a mission. Margarita. Tell me why we don't just teleport to the place. Betos. Because it would be very boring, plus walking is good since you can see many things. Margarita. I know, I still remember when I took Issei to those places and we both walked for hours, I felt like time passed very quickly with him. Betos. I know. And tell me, are you paying attention to the orphanage? Margarita. Yes, and nothing bad has happened, and if something happens I will go and solve it myself right away. I don't want Issei to do everything alone. Betos. I understand you. They continued on their way until a group came out surrounding both girls. For their part, they just stayed still since they knew they were being followed. Hero. Wow, but look at who those useless people sent me to some beauties. Vados. So you're the one who bothers my beloved Issei so much. Hero. That useless guy again. I will make them mine at any cost to get revenge on that idiot. Margarita. Keep dreaming, and I also heard from the girls that you are immortal, and from what I see you are missing an arm, hahaha, what a weak man. Vados. Let me guess, it was Issei, right? Margarita. Of course it was what was expected of him, since Issei doesn't let someone go without any consequences. Hearing them, Hero became more upset. At that point he ordered everyone who was with him to attack. Seeing that, Vados just let out a sigh and took out his scepter and stuck it into the ground, making everyone, especially Hero, freeze. Margarita. For us, killing you wouldn't be a big deal. But it is not our duty to do so, that is up to Issei. Vados. So you can see that we are good people, you can go home and continue your tantrum. Hero couldn't take it anymore and went to the attack, where Margarita took out the scepter from him and sent Hero to another place. Vados. Where did you send him? Margarita. Maybe he was cold, so I sent him to cool off. Vados already knew where, so he didn't ask any more questions about that. Both of them left the place with the group so they could get information from him. While Hero opened his eyes and noticed how he was falling and noticed that it was a volcano. He took out his wings, but it was too late, falling into the lava. Seconds later everything came out, but he recovered quickly. Hero. I'm going to kill you, Issei, and I'll keep all those women. Forming a smile on his face and teleporting to his base. Chap. 11 hours passed and Issei was still reading until someone entered the room. Pagaya. Issei, it's already late, did you forget? Issei. What a thing. Pagaya. Your fight against Sasuke, everyone is already there. Hearing that, Issei got up from his seat since he had forgotten. Issei. Honestly, I forgot. Pagaya. We thought that's why I came, for us to go. Issei just smiled at her, and then he approached her and took her in her arms, causing Kagaya to blush. At that, Issei left the room to the patio, where he took a big leap to meet them. Meanwhile the others were waiting for Issei, some murmuring that he had escaped. Naruko was upset to hear all this nonsense, and she was going to say something, but then Issei arrived from the sky, causing a crack in her feed, and lowered Kagaya. For her part, she went with the others. Issei. Sorry for the delay, I had really forgotten. Sasuke. Well, you're ready to die. Additionally, some people also have accounts with you. Mema, appearing next to Niji, also said since she wanted to support her friends. Issei. Well then, I'm ready. Let's finish this quickly since I have things to do. Everyone present was excited by the fight. The children also went to see their parents fight. Sarada approached the three girls. Sarada. He can, right? Hinata. Of course, if you trust him. Sarada didn't say anything else and turned around to see her struggling. Where the first to go was Mema, using Taijutsu since she wanted to distract him, while Saidru and Sasuke made seals with her hands. Mema, as I looked aside, Issei could notice a large fireball. He just let out a sigh and stretched out his hand, absorbing the large ball, leaving several people surprised, as were the girls, since they didn't know he could do that. At that, Issei stopped a kick from Rock Lee. And he sent it flying with the rest. Issei. That's all they have. When the boys heard that, they got upset and they all went to attack, but no one could hit him. Issei. I thought they had improved in these years, but they are still the same ones who allow themselves to be provoked. Sasuke. Shut up, damn. But just after saying that, he received a blow from Issei that sent him crashing into some trees. When his companions saw that, they jumped back to help his companion. When Sasuke left the place, you could see his annoyed face, and in that he used one of the Rinnegan abilities. Sasuke. Chibaku Tensei. Making many rocks go against Issei. Trapping him in a sphere only of rocks. Sasuke just started laughing since he had achieved it. And he saw the girls, and to his surprise they were all calm. Someone was about to say something, but they heard some cracking noises until the sphere exploded, dropping Issei to the ground. Issei. Not bad, but you still need it. You know, your brother gave me more of a fight. Upon hearing that, he became more upset and activated his Susanoo. Mema just gave him more chakra like the others to make him stronger, making the Susanoo bigger and stronger. Naruko. Issei, I can give you some of my chakra. Issei. It's okay, don't worry, I can do it. That's when a red and black aura formed in Issei until he created his Susanoo, leaving many shocked since it was bigger than Sasuke and came stronger. Issei. You know, it's the first time I've used it in all its glory. Sasuke. How is it possible if you are not in Issei? Issei. And I'm glad I'm not, otherwise I'd be just like your bitter. At that, Issei's Susanoo raised his hands, and in each one he created a Rasengan of different elements, but in one hand he created a Chidori. Seeing Sasuke, I think he stretched a bow he had to hit Issei with everything. Issei. Girls, please don't let anyone get hurt from here. Kagaya. Don't worry. Issei just nodded, and with that Kagaya created a barrier for those present below. Sasuke was the first to launch his attack, and Issei launched all spheres with a lot of power, causing some to hit the arrow, and the Chidori impacted Sasuke and the other members, since they were also there. The audience could only hear the cries of pain of everyone present. Issei deactivated his Susanoo and fell to the ground, and seconds later some bodies fell with several burns. Minato, being Mema's father, got upset when he saw that, and he also went on the attack. Issei was already tired of seeing that kind of activity. Issei. Shinra Tensei. Sending Minato to fly away from the place so that he won't be in the way in a few minutes. Kushina, seeing that, activated her chakra chains and also went to attack, but before Issei did anything Kagaya put her in a Jingetsu, causing Kushina to scream. Issei. What did you do to him? Kagaya. It's better that you don't know. Sarada. Then you are also an Uchiha. Issei. I'm sorry but no. A person gave me the ability to do so many years ago. Sarada. I thought it would be my family too. Since he was part of the clan. Issei knelt down to be at his height. Issei. The truth is we are family since Naruko is your aunt, so I am your uncle. Sarada. Then you could train me, I want to be as strong as you. Issei. Sure but more later. You should know that I haven't trained someone in a long time. My last student was a little crazy. Hinata. You know if Siko finds out what you said, she might get angry. Issei. But they won't tell the truth. Naruko. It depends on how well they treat us during this time. Where the three formed a smile and Issei for his part just let out a sigh. Sarada could only laugh at her interaction. The others, seeing that, only became more upset with Issei since they hurt the strongest people in their village. Issei. It would be better to leave because otherwise someone could attack us too. The girls didn't say anything, and with that the group went to the mansion where Naruko also took Sarada since she liked her since she wasn't like her parents. When Tsunade arrived, she was upset by what they did and tried to scold them, but nothing happened since they didn't take it as seriously. And after that I congratulate them as they came down from their cloud to the group. Chap. 12. It had been a few days since the group arrived, and after that battle some continued to pester Issei to leave the girls. Mema hired several assassins, but in the end they all died from Issei, and as a present he sent the heads of his assassins to Mema, causing him to become more upset. Sarada was happy since for the first time she was being trained by people she greatly admires like Naruko and Hinata. Kagaya also helped her with what she could easily help him evolve her Sharingan, but Issei did not allow it since she has to earn it for her efforts. Meanwhile somewhere else. Sir, everything is ready, we are just waiting for your orders. Well, I'm glad to hear that put the plan in process. The soldier just nodded and then left to give the orders while the other left to give his report. Sir, everything is already done. Rizavam. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Euclid, because I know you won't go too. Euclid. So, sir, I have to go get Graphia, she belongs to me, no one can touch her. Rizavam. Good, but remember, bring me all those children, they will be useful to me. Euclid. As Hiro informed us, his brother has a daughter there too. Rizavam. I know that disgusting human has interfered a lot with my plans, and it is time to take revenge, and what better revenge than killing his daughter and others. Do whatever you want with her as long as you make her suffer, that's fine. Euclid just nodded and left the place, leaving Rizavam alone with a big smile on his face. Eri. Yui Wani-chan, we have to hurry, Liza is waiting for us. Yui. Wait, I'm almost done. Laviana. That's what happens for staying up so late watching TV. Eri. When will Tu-chan be back, I miss him. Serafal. Don't worry, soon, you know what he is like. Eri just nodded, and with that the group went to the academy where both women left the three girls and then went to work since there was a lot to do. The hours passed and that day there was delivery of notes at the academy and the only one who had nothing to do was Mocha, so she went. Mocha. Not bad, they are the best. Liza. It's thanks to you, Wani-chan, and the others who help us a lot. Mocha just gave the three a smile and they were about to leave the academy when a large barrier covered the entire academy. Misako. Mocha, change this, I don't like it. She didn't say anything and took off her necklace, leaving Misako with a serious face. Seconds later a hologram of Rizavam could be seen. She knew who she was thanks to the reports. Rizavam. Well, since everyone is present I want to play a game, and don't worry, you will have a chance to save yourselves if you can. In the academy there is a very powerful spell, and if they don't keep it stable, well, you can know what will happen. There are children present here, how can you do that? Rizavam. I don't care about brats. And if they survive, it will be thanks to your help, I will use them for my attempts. Well, that's all, I wish you luck. Ending with a big smile. Seconds later many entered through the barrier. Several tried to communicate, but the barrier wouldn't let them. Misako managed to contact someone in time, being Serafal and Graphia, and without caring about anything, they left everything and went to the rescue of their daughters. Meanwhile Misako saw the girls and gave them a small smile, since she had taken a liking to them. Misako. Don't worry, I'll protect you until help comes. Liza. I'm afraid Wani-chan who they are. Masakov don't worry. Taking the girls with the other children inside while some parents used their magic to delay the spell and others protected the children from the renegades. Masako could only be serious and went outside to be able to defend herself as much as she could. Her enemies went against her since they had something to accomplish and Masako also went against them, kicking them very hard. Time passed and each time the enemies entered the academy where there were already many wounded parents and unfortunately others were injured. Serafal and Graphia arrived but they couldn't enter. Euclid, seeing that, just smiled and let Graphia in and when she saw her brother, she was surprised. Graphia. What do you want to do in this place? Euclid. I'm just on a mission and I also came for you. Graphia. I'm not going anywhere, you changed and took the wrong path. Euclid. You are the one who is going down the wrong path, but it doesn't matter, everything changes today. Graphia became serious and started making magic circles. She just like Euclid and thus both starting an ice fight. The girls were together and scared about what was happening until they saw someone come through the window, and that was Masako. The three of them were scared when they saw her because she had many injuries and she was tired. Iri. Kachan, please don't continue, something can happen to you and I don't want to. Masako. Don't worry daughter, I'll be fine, go with your sisters please. Iri only had a few tears and went with them since she knew she couldn't do much. At that point 3 demons entered and Masako surrounded her as best she could. She defended herself against the 3, but she was already reaching her limit. Yui. Kachan please. So you have daughters here, this will be more fun now. Masako. Touch my daughter and it will be worse for you. Ahahaha, with that state you won't be able to do anything. She just gave them a dirty look since she didn't want her daughters to get hurt. Well, Serafal was outside fighting everyone he could. Serafal. I can't contact anyone else, these idiots won't let me. I should have called Surzich before coming. At that he shook his head. Serafal. There was no time for that, the most important thing is to save my family. Creating eye stakes and killing whoever went against her. Graphia, for her part, had a bit of an advantage since she moved to the mansion she began to train more often in order to protect her family. Euclid. Give up Graphia and better come with me, they won't treat you badly. Graphia. That will never happen and I can't leave my family. Euclid. I am your family, you have no one else since that false demon is not your husband. Graphia. I'm not talking about Surzich, I'm talking about Issei, he gives me the joy that I was missing and a family. Now I have 2 daughters and a little sister to take care of. Euclid. That human stained this on you, if I don't forgive I will kill him. But first to those brats so they can suffer. Graphia. First you'll have to kill me to go to my daughters. She had a serious face since she didn't like people talking about her family like that. Masako was almost at her limit and she was on a wall while the girls did their best to keep her from falling asleep. Yui. 2chan is coming, please hold on. Mom, yes. Masako. I can still, don't worry. She tried to get up but she fell to her knees. At that moment a group was approaching them and Iri stood in front. So you lacked brave, but it won't do much good. Grabbing Iri by her hair and pulling her off of her and hitting a wall. Masako, seeing that, got up as best she could and went against the demon, but he stopped her blow and gave him one of her own. Iri got more scared when she saw that. Iri. 2chan. Chap. 13 minutes before, Chichigami was doing his job to see that everything was okay until she felt and saw the place and saw the scared girls and how Masako protected them. That only annoyed her, but she couldn't go since she couldn't leave the place for so long. She opened a portal where she quickly entered to look for Issei. He, for his part, was in the courtyard training Sarada with the 3 girls. Issei. Well, if you continue like this you will go very far. Naruko. And he's right, since we did the same training at the beginning, it's difficult but you'll get used to it. Sarada just nodded since she wanted to be strong in that. She continued training until she saw how the portal opened where only 4 people knew. Thus then Chichigami came out, surprising Sarada. Issei. Something's wrong. Chichigami. It's the girls and Masako. Issei, just hearing that, changed his mood and he approached Chichigami. Issei. What happened? Chichigami. There is no time, you have to go or else. Issei. Let's go. She just nodded and created the portal again, at which point they both headed off. Issei. You guys stay here. Naruko. They are our daughters too. At that Issei turned around and returned to her appearance, leaving Sarada shocked. Issei. I know, but if they go they won't like what I'll do. Without waiting for a response he took Chichigami by the hand and they entered the portal, leaving the girl surprised by what she did. Upon arriving at the palace, Chichigami created the portal again. Chichigami. Issei, I can't help you enter the barrier so you'll appear outside. Issei. Okay and thank you. Approaching her and giving her a hug. Issei. Do me a favor, yes. Chichigami. Whatever you want. Issei. Please don't see what I'll do. Chichigami. It's okay, I promise. Issei separated from her and gave her a small gesture, and then he entered the portal. Just by doing so he began to fall from a great height above the academy, he only extended his fist, breaking through the barrier and falling in the middle of many enemies. When they saw Issei they knew who he was, so they went to attack. For his part, he just clenched his fists and went at them at great speed, where he hit them all on the head. At the end he ran to the place, and he felt the presence of the girls and destroyed a wall, and when he did so he only opened his eyes in surprise, and that was because he saw how a demon had Yui by the neck. That only annoyed him, and at super speed he went against him, killing him instantly and took Yui in his arms. Issei. You're fine. When she opened her eyes she just cried when she saw Issei and hugged him. Yui. My mother Misako is sick and so are my sisters. Issei looked to the sides and saw Misako sitting with several wounds on the wall, and the girls passed out. He created a clone to go after others while he went after Eri. When he took her in his arms he noticed that he was barely breathing, he only got upset when he noticed that. Clone. Mr. Liza is fine and Misako is very weak from the fight. Plus many more are coming here. Issei. I understand. Please take my family. Creating several more clones and they took Eri and the other girls and also those who were alive. And at the end everyone went to a safe place. Issei stood up and looked up and screamed at the top of his lungs since he wanted to get all that anger out. When doing that, several were frightened by such a scream, in addition to all the factions hearing such a scream, as well as the humans, who were frightened. The three angels, upon feeling Issei's kairizing, were scared and returned to Earth since they were exploring the universe. Seraphil and Graphia felt a chill since they were the closest and knew who that person was. The other girls who were busy also knew who it was, so they put everything aside and went to the place. At the request of the three girls, Chichigami took them to his palace, but without letting them see since he promised himself to Issei. At the end of venting he began to walk and saw several of his enemies. Issei. No one leaves here alive. Don't believe it's a big deal. Issei didn't even pay attention to him since he moved from his place, and in an instant he was in front of the one who spoke and cut off his head with his own hands. The others, seeing that, went to the attack and others prepared spells. Issei, for his part, bit his finger and put it on the ground, summoning a dog with two heads and a bird that instantly went to kill his enemies. He also created several clones that he gave the order to kill in the worst way possible, while he did it too. One went against Issei, and he just kicked him, causing the fallen angel to fall to the ground. Issei approached him with a murderous look and then began to hit him very hard, killing him with the first two blows, but Issei continued since he was upset until he created a crack, even with his enemy's head smashed into dust. Some were going to escape since he scared them, but Issei, noticing that, joined his two hands and created a barrier so that no one could escape from there. Issei. They dared to hurt my family, you must be prepared for the consequences. Grabbing one by the face and squeezing his face until he exploded. We only follow orders. Issei. You were one of those who were in that room and I could see the joy on your face. It shows that you enjoyed it. Seeing Issei's face, he got scared and was about to leave, but a clone grabbed him by the neck and brought him closer to Issei. He took out his katana and put some hakai on the tip of it and began to scratch him all over his body, making him scream in pain. Issei didn't even pay attention to his screams, and the others could only watch everything that was happening with fear. Issei continued to torture the demon, and with the tip of the katana he took out its eye. He just screamed in pain and created several magic circles to try to kill Issei, but he didn't move from his place and received every attack. Issei. All this is my daughters and my wife, how dare they hurt my family. Passing the katana through half of his face, but without killing him yet. He stayed like that for a few seconds until he got tired and reached out with his fist that pierced his abdomen and then broke him in half. He approached another and hit his head and then kicked it with his foot, breaking it into pieces. The massacre by Issei followed, one of them managed to inform their leader. Euclid. Those idiots can't do anything right. He said it all upset. Graphia. You made the wrong person angry, you don't know what Issei is like when he's upset. Euclid. Shut up damn or. Issei. Or what? At that Euclid turned around and saw Issei dragging a demon's leg. Graphia only made a sad face when she saw him since she didn't want to see him in such a condition. Issei, seeing Graphia's condition, became more upset since he had some injuries. Issei. I don't care if you are my beloved's brother, but you won't get out of here unscathed. Releasing the leg. Issei. Graphia, please get out of here, I don't want you to see this. Graphia. I will not leave, my duty as your partner is to always be by your side, no matter if it is under these conditions. Issei. But I don't want to. Graphia. But nothing, Issei, I'll stay here and we stopped being family years ago. Approaching Issei. Issei. Okay. At that he removed some seals that he had, surprising Graphia. Issei. I really didn't want to use this until the time was right, but this is the only way to punish someone who hurt Graphia. Joining his two hands and summoning a spear. Leaving both people in shock. Euclid. It is impossible, that thing belongs to Cao Cao and he is not dead yet. Since Issei had the true longinus in his hands. Issei. I had some trips and on some of them they gave it to me as a gift. Taking attack position. Chap. 14. Euclid was not stupid, he knew about the power of the first longinus and with a little of his power he would end up dead. With no other option, he used all his magical power to create a teleportation circle to report on him. Seeing the circle, Issei raised a spear and it began to shine with sacred power. Issei also put Hakai on it. And at the end he threw it at a great speed that pierced Euclid's lung, causing him to scream in pain since he had two very dangerous powers within him. But I still managed to activate the magic circle. Euclid. I will come back for you, Graphia, and you will be mine. Issei. Touch a hair and next time it will go to your head. Euclid just gave Issei a death glare and left. Seconds later he throws it back to Issei and he puts it away again and reactivates her seals. At the end, Graphia fell on her knees to the ground. Seeing that, she got scared and knelt down too, and when she looked up from Issei, she was surprised to see some tears in him. Graphia. Issei, something hurts, tell me so I can help you. Issei. Graphia, this is all my fault, I broke my promise, I couldn't take care of my family. Graphia could only hug Issei because of what she was saying. Graphia. It's not your fault, this happened out of nowhere. You cannot know when they will attack and it is also our fault for not keeping an eye on them. Don't put that weight on yourself alone. Issei. Thus then Seraphol arrived and was surprised to see Issei like this. Seraphol. Issei, what's wrong with you? Issei. This is all my fault, my family is hurt. Graphia. It's not your fault. Seraphol. She's right, it's their fault that they dared to attack this place. When Mocha informed us we came as quickly as possible but we couldn't even enter. Issei. I'm still weak. Graphia. Don't say that, yeah. Giving Issei a smile and wiping away her tears. Seconds later the three angels and the other girls arrived and upon hearing what happened they were very upset. Issei. I would like to go get them right now, but the most important thing is the girls and Mocha, I want to go see them. Office. Come on, I'll take you to the place. Issei nodded and with that the whole group left the place and upon arriving without taking anything into account and when she arrived at the room, she saw 4 beds and saw the girls sleeping and how Mocha was waking up. Issei approached her and took her hand. Issei. Please forgive me. I wasn't there to protect them. Mocha. It's not your fault, Issei, plus they are my daughters too and I would give anything for them. Issei approached her and touched the necklace and began to make seals and seconds later a great light appeared in her room and when he left her Issei had Misako in her hands. The others were surprised when they saw that. Issei. Partly I wanted to go there to look for information on a jutsu for this and in the end I did it. But I didn't want it to be in this situation. Vados approached them and created a bed for Misako. Issei. Me. Misako. Don't say anything, okay, I did it for them. So don't blame yourself and promise me that when you go for them you will take them with you, I want to finish them off. Issei just gave her a half smile and caressed her cheek. She closed her eyes to rest since she didn't have that much strength. Issei. Office, take me to Tannen please. Office. Why do you want to go with him? Issei. It's time to make allies before I don't take it too seriously, but I'm aware that I can't protect everyone, so we must look for allies. Greg. He can help you, but the other dragons will not be in favor since dragons are very proud. Issei. It doesn't matter if I have to fight everyone to have his help. Roswis. We can talk to them first and if they don't accept it will be done through struggle. Issei. I understand. Greg. In order for them to listen to you, you will have to first convince the Dragon Kings, Yulong being Yulong, and Tiamat being the strongest of all, and Tannen, as you must know, is a former Dragon King, and Vitra is locked up in Fafnir, I don't know if you know. But now he is with a nun, and Midgardsormr is very lazy. Astrid. He is very strong, you better not go with him, and he is asleep for now. Issei. I understand. Isaka. Yulong is with Sun Wukong, if you want to go with the first one, I can tell him that we will go. Issei. Then come on right now, it's time to end all this. Besides. Seeing someone specific. Issei. Sarada, what are you doing here? Sarada. I don't have any family there and you gave me the love I wanted. Issei. I see. Baruko. Issei, I didn't like what you did and if you do it again I'll be angry. Issei. Okay, it won't happen again. Siko. You go look for that dragon and we're going to stay here. Issei. Thank you. Isaka. Okay. Office. I will go with you. Claire. I'll go too, plus I'm a dragon so you'll have to fight me too. Issei. More to come later. Lucina. I'll go too. Yukin. You won't have it that easy too. Issei. Okay, let's go. The office created a dimensional gap towards Kyoto. Issei said goodbye to the girls and left the place. Graphia. When I get back I'll have to ask him. Kunu. What a thing. Graphia. How come Issei possesses the true longiness? The girls were surprised when they heard that. Lefei? How is that possible if Cao Cao is the bearer of that sacred gear? Rafia? Issei only said that he had her on one of her trips. Ingvald? Issei was two places where one her mission was to save the other self from her and the other where she met Siko. Aphrodite? Maybe she was her on that trip. Brenthold? We'll have to ask him when he gets back. The others nodded and some went to take care of the girls who were still asleep and others to Moko and Misako. Meanwhile, the group arrived at the castle and Yusaka sent for Sun Wukong. Minutes later he appeared in the throne room. Sun Wukong? Yusaka Dono is offering you something for this urgent call. Yusaka? Sorry for this, but I need a favor from you, or rather from your friend Yulong. Sun Wukong? What a thing. Yusaka? Here my fiancé Issei wants to talk to him, can you take us to him please? Sun Wukong knew about Issei, so he just nodded and led them to the place. After a long while they arrived at their destination. Sun Wukong? Yulong, someone wants to talk to you. Yulong? Who? Issei? It's me, my name is Igarashi Issei and I need your help. Yulong? I know who you are and what you want. Issei? Help me convince the other dragons to help us in this battle since you are a king, they may listen to you. Yulong? It's not as easy as you think and I don't feel like doing it. Office? You'll have to. Sensing Office's aura, Yulong was surprised to see her there. Dreg? Long time no see. Yulong? Dreg you too. If you guys are here it must be something bad then. But if you want my help you'll have to defeat me first, that's just the way it is. Issei? Good. Taking an attack position and the others withdrew from the place to give them more space. Chap. 15. Yulong just smiled and puffed out her chest, and seconds later she spat out a huge mouthful of fire. Issei? Suiton Mizukamakiri. The column of smoke came out of it and then dispersed, colliding with the fire, causing a fog to form. Yulong dispersed the mist and did not see Issei, but when he looked up, he saw how Issei fell from the sky, with his extended fist hitting Yulong in the face, causing him to fall to the ground. Sun Wukong was surprised by what he did but still trusted his friend. The dragon stood up a little upset. Issei? You know the truth is I don't have time for this, so I hope you'll forgive me for what I'll do. Taking a jump back. Issei? 7th True Spirit Form Skill. Yulong and Sun Wukong were shocked by such power. Issei extended his fist and Yulong could not react in time, receiving the blow squarely, leaving him unconscious. Issei returned to his normal form and looked at the rest with a half smile. Sun Wukong? Ha, that's quite a surprise. They told me that you only had great strength, but this is unique. Issei? Things that happen over time and well the truth is I don't have time to be here all day. You can? I can figure it out and now what are you going to do? Issei? I'll talk to Auden about something, I hope he can help me. Claire? About what? Issei? I'll tell them later. Office, you can send me to Asgard, I will try to get back to you quickly. Lucina? What kind of nonsense will you do Issei? Issei only half smiled at her and then hugged her. Issei? Trust me. Lucina just nodded and after that he said goodbye to the others and Office sent him to Asgard. When the guardians arrived, they greeted him and took him to the throne where Auden was. Issei, time without seeing you old. Auden? Issei, I'm sorry for what happened. Issei? It's okay, don't worry, everything is fine right now, they are safe. Auden? And tell me why you came. Issei? I lack knowledge. Auden hearing that was surprised since he knew what he was talking about. At that he stood up from his throne and began to walk to another room calling for Issei to follow him. After a few minutes they arrived at a room. Auden? You must know that it is not a very easy path. First you would have to go to the Forbidden Forest, it is considered a very dangerous place if you do not know where to go, many gods have wanted to go but do not return. Plus there are the giants, plus there is the swamp labyrinth, there are many dangers when you get there. Issei? It doesn't matter and if you could, I can too. Auden? I know you will and if that's what you want, that's fine. You've done a lot for us and with this I can help you. Taking out a map of a pocket dimension and giving it to Issei. Issei? Thank you, I'll go right now since I have to do it quickly so I can get back to my family. Auden? I understand you and thank you for taking care of my granddaughters. One more thing Issei, you should know the precious thing to pay no. Issei? Of course I know and I'm willing to pay for it. Auden? And tell me how you knew about Mimers well. Issei? The truth is I thought it was false since I heard it in my history class years ago and until now I had the opportunity to ask. Auden? Ha, there are some things that are real, but others are not. Issei got up from his seat just like Auden, so they both walked across the bridge and arrived with the guardian of the portal and Auden informed him where he had to send him. Issei? Thank you. Entering the column of the portal and arriving at a place known to him. Issei? After hundreds of years I returned to this place. Letting out a sigh and starting to walk into the forest since the time he had was limited. Since I had to go back quickly and see his family and continue looking for the other dragons. After a few hours of walking he arrived at the forest and upon entering he felt many creatures coming towards him. Issei, for his part, created thousands of clones since the last thing he had was time. Leaving the clones of various kinds, some were made of wood, others were made of chakra, others were made of his spiritual rings. Then he continued on his way while watching his clones kill his enemies. He continued on his way without resting for a second since he still felt a little guilty for what happened. Issei. I got too distracted, it's time to go back to my training so I can protect my family. Taking a serious face and walking. Meanwhile the group of girls had already returned to the hospital and they asked him about Issei and had to tell him where he went. Bastard. What do you want from my grandfather? I should go see him. Bernald. Let's go more than we have to wait until the girls are well. Mocha. The truth is it feels strange not having you with me anymore. Misako. Now I'm free. Alicia. But if that's the case then your Mocha is human. Mocha. I'm still a vampire, but the truth is I'm weak hahaha I'll have to train since now I don't have my sister. Misako. It will be very difficult to train you since you are very sentimental. Kuroka. Leaving that aside, we better think about something else. Enemu? Tell me Grafia, you would hate Issei if he killed your brother. All the girls saw Grafia since they saw each other not long ago after so many years. Grafia. We stopped being brothers years ago and I already have my sisters and some daughters to take care of. Seraphil. Before you were so serious and now you talk sweetly, I like this new one hahaha. Mikishin. The truth is, most of us were very serious and when we met Issei things changed hahaha. Alicia. He brought us down from our clouds by teaching us a lesson. Pagaya. But Issei didn't fight all of them, some were lucky. Griselda. Because we don't doubt his strength and we don't try to humiliate him. Seen some of those present. Kian Renksu. Hey, don't continue with that. Griselda. Your children will know and it will be fun to see their faces hahaha. Roswis. The truth is. Kuroka. Our children will be very cute but if they are like Issei they will always be happy. Prince. And how long until that is? The truth is I'm ready to have one in my arms. Belfast. You must know what situation we are in, now is not the time for that. Vados. Furthermore, we couldn't protect 3 girls like we are going to protect others. Ingvald. We just have to wait and we have a lot of time. The girls continued talking, still waiting for the girls to be okay. While Issei continued on his way, defeating every enemy he came across. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.